She told me to my face in my own living room that I was being selfish for wanting my apartment back. My apartment. The one I pay rent on every single month. And she'd been there for 4 days. Okay, so background. My college friend Danny reaches out maybe twice a year. Birthdays, sometimes holidays. We're friendly, not close. So when she texts asking if she can crash at my place for one night, she had a work thing downtown. Hotel prices were insane, I said sure. One night, I made up the couch, left out towels, even bought the fancy creamer she likes. I was being a good person. I was being a good friend. Danny shows up Friday evening with a rolling suitcase that looked full. Like packed for a week full. I noticed it. I didn't say anything. She seemed stressed. We had a glass of wine. It was fine. I figured maybe she just overpacks. And then Saturday morning came, and she was still there. Still in my pajamas, mine, by the way. She just borrowed them without asking, making herself breakfast like she lived there. That's when the whole thing started. I kept it light. I said, "Hey Danny, what time is your checkout?" Like hotels say it right, casual, and she just laughs, goes, "Oh, I figured I'd hang a few more days. The work thing got extended." Just like that, no question, no, is that okay with you? Just, I figured. I told her I had things going on. I'd planned on having my space back. She waved her hand at me. Actually waved her hand at me like I was being dramatic. "It's not like you're using the couch," she said. I pointed out that wasn't the point that I'd said one night. She tilted her head and goes, "I thought you'd be happy to have the company." And I just stared at her for a second, because what do you even say to that? I let it go. Gave her until Sunday. That felt more than fair. Sunday afternoon, I came back from the grocery store and she'd rearranged my bookshelf. My bookshelf. She said it made more sense this way. I set the groceries down, breathed, and told her clearly, "Danny, I need you to pack up tonight. This was always a one-night thing and I've already stretched it." And she got this look, this wounded, deeply offended look, and goes, "I can't believe you'd kick me out when I'm going through something." And that was the first I was hearing about her going through something, by the way, first mention, after 4 days in my home. I asked, genuinely asked, what was going on, and she started telling me about a fight with her boyfriend, some stuff at work, feeling overwhelmed. Real things, I'm not dismissing that. But then she landed on, "I just need a safe place to be right now, and I thought you of all people would understand that." And I do understand that, I really do. But her emotional crisis doesn't come with a lease on my apartment. I told her I was sorry she was dealing with all that, and that I'd be happy to help her find an Airbnb. I'd even help cover part of it. Genuine offer. She stared at me like I'd slapped her. "Wow," she said. "Wow, so money is more important to you than I am." I said, "Danny, that's not what this is." And she stood up, full dramatic stand, and goes, "I have been sleeping on your couch, bending over backwards to be a good guest, and this is how you treat me." Bending over backwards. She rearranged my furniture without asking. She wore my pajamas. She ate my food for 4 days, and she's the one bending over backwards. I felt something just click off in me. I stopped being gentle. I said, "You need to pack your bag tonight. That's not a conversation anymore. That's just what's happening." She went nuclear, started yelling, actually yelling in my apartment, about how I was abandoning her, how this is why she doesn't trust people, how she always knew I was like this. My neighbor knocked on the wall. That's how loud it got. And I just looked at her and said, "You can leave angry or you can leave calm, but you're leaving." She didn't move, just stood there, arms crossed, jaw set, daring me. So I picked up her suitcase, the big, suspiciously full one from day one, set it next to the front door, and opened the door. Didn't say another word, just stood there holding it open. And she looked at the door, looked at me, looked at the door again. The neighbor had opened their door a crack, I could see it. Other people could hear this whole thing. And something shifted in Danny's face when she realized there was no version of this where she wins. She grabbed the suitcase handle, muttered, "I can't believe you," under her breath, just loud enough. And I said, "And yeah, okay, maybe this is the part where some of you will say I went too far." I said, "I can't believe me either. I should have said this on Saturday." She walked out. I closed the door. My neighbor actually gave me a thumbs up through the crack before their door shut. No call from Danny. No apology. Nothing, and honestly, I feel fine about it. What I don't feel fine about is whether I should have opened that door sooner, or whether waiting as long as I did makes me the bigger person or just a pushover with a 2-day delay. Honestly, though, what would you have done? Comment below.